Leaf Preacher once again and jump into our game number 2 before we start talking about Jack and Rosie, who is, I don't know. I've seen the movie once, and all I remember is Leo DiCaprio played an excellent role. But if we go into Corvidae and Team Noxide, I'd rather talk about Titanic. No, I'm kidding. I'd actually rather talk about these guys.
Will they fit on the door is the question.
Oh, no, we know they won't. We know they won't. Ignore everything. No one fits on the door.
Well, I mean,
they
had
both
people.
won't sink.
Have you not seen the diagrams? All right, let's get into it. Already, automatically. Yeah, the diagrams of them on the door, and then people saying they could actually fit on it. You know what? The whole point is, I know it's about density. The fact of the matter is, if he was to be on the door, it would sink. Anyways, back to our points here. Immediately, we got Jace taken off the board. Someone who does benefit from lethality, something that he's always been very strong. We saw him become an absolute monster when lethality was a thing back there. So it makes sense to get him off the board as a priority ban pick. And they know Vibes is great on the Elise. Nice easy ban across there as well.
That's right. So you take the Elise off the board for Vibes, and you also take the Thresh from Real Opal. Again, the Jace, you talk about it, big bans, but do we take away the Jhin? Do we get rid of that factor? Because Ozza, in the last couple of weeks, has played some Jhin, and it's something that we know him to actually be quite decent at as well.
And I mean, considering what we saw before, we might actually see another Doran's Ring coming out.
Apparently it's Korean. I get it. Thank you, Twitter. Apparently Korea did it. Someone explain why. At Rusty Lol. Tell me exactly why.
Why would you get at Rusty Lol that one?
I don't know. I'm not even joining the joke. I just want Rusty to get some tweets. I'm just sending him, some traffic.
All right.
You're welcome. I know he sometimes watches this. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's going to be the Ahri as the final ban for Corvidae, and Team Noxide already having taken off the Zac. Looks like it's going to be a heavy jungle priority pull. And we do jump into the first pick very shortly, but let's see if they get rid of the Galio. Let's see if they get rid of the Jhin. And in 7.14, you can never be too careful, will be the Galio.
All right, now all of a sudden you go, sweet, there's a really big tanks taken off the board. All of a sudden we don't have to worry about a Zac, we don't have to worry about Galio. That means now we can go, hey, lethality seems to be the good way to go. Let's get our assassins into it. I would have loved to see a Misfortune coming through. She's been absolutely strong in this game.
It is going to be the first pick, Orianna, for Taka, someone who has been this player that we're like, hey, Taka, you're playing pretty good. You're playing a mean Orianna. Why stop now? And Corvidae tend to agree with it.
It's a very safe pick as well. Not much can really, I guess you could say, hard counter Orianna. She's more than happy to sit there and lane farm up if it is one of those more unfavorable lanes for her to go into and just have a really big shockwave the later that game goes. But as you can see, that tank meta really beginning to favor her as well, because all of a sudden she's got more ball delivery systems to really throw people into it.
But is it a worthy first pick when you consider that Jhin is still open for Ozza, when you consider how big the priority is on lethality and, like you said, tanks for that initiation tool? I'm sure that Team Noxide, not having banned Orianna, could have potentially either just left it or Corvidae could have picked it up in the second rotation. There's a lot of opportunity for Corvidae here, and picking something like the Orianna is a bit of a surprise.
And, I mean, okay, I get what you're saying, because there seems to be so much more available at the moment when you can go for the Dustblade or Dustblade users instead if you do want to get a Talon. And typically it's because you haven't seen the ADC yet, because all of a sudden if they do decide to go for a mobile ADC instead of one of those in-mobile ones like the Jhin, like the MF, like the Ashe, all of a sudden those assassins just seem to fall just that little bit short because they can't facilitate their jobs.
And it looks like Corvidae will again put Ozza back on the Twitch like week number 2. Sejuani also locked in for what we think is going to be Vibes, and Team Noxide have to respond.
Now, I'd like to see Team Noxide actually take away some of those protect supports that are available. Either pick one up or make sure they're banning it in the next rotation. So let's get Lulu off the board. Let's get Karma off the board, because they do have the ability to actually say, you know what, we're just going to build a protect the comp around Twitch. The fact that you've got the Orianna means you've already got that utility mid laner to really benefit from that. And it makes sense to actually start taking away some of those other picks that really facilitate that team composition.
Yeah, and I guess Corvidae could always be left with something like the Brom. Zaita last week played the Gragas support. And unfortunately, because Team Noxide's already snagged that away, it won't come into reality. Excuse me, it is going to be the Tristana also locked in for Sombre. Yeah, I love this meta. It's all happening, isn't it?
Well, the carries really are coming back into it as well. And I feel like ADCs now have a sort of smorgasbord of choices of what they want to go for.
Yeah, I mean, smorgasbord, yeah.
Well, I mean, all of a sudden, you've got your lethality laners again. You can go for your carries and hyper carries as well. There's just so much more available in that situation.
Well, if we continue to have a look, sorry, Zaita did actually play Blitz last week. It was the week before, or at least someone else who I don't ask. There was a Graga support.
That was a really good early game. Was like, early with Graga with Blitzcrank when he managed to get Bladoink.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
That was great. Go watch it's on Twitter. Go and find it. It was at the start of the week. Team Noxide start the second ban phase with Camille and Brom is responded by Corvidae. Looks like they don't want to pick that one up and make the icy duo with Sejuani. Instead, you've got Team Noxide who have the opportunity to maybe get rid of something in that top lane and get rid of the engage tools.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, getting rid of those supports now seem to be the really big pick for these guys, especially if they can get a nice priority off it. Because as you can see, there's 2 supports already off the board, and no team has managed to pick one up just yet. So really, whoever gets the first picking of that, which will be Noxide, means they're going to have themselves a really strong pick just in that bot lane.
But if Team Noxide have come off anything, I mean, Relopal has been a Brom player. He can also play the Tahm Kench. Both of those are now taken off the board by Corvidae, and it looks like there are so many support bans. What are you left with? Janna.
Okay, Janna's one. I mean, Lulu's available as well.
Yeah, true.
I'm trying to think, Nami, Zyra, you can go full destruction really on the side of Team
I feel like Zyra would be more Relopal style if he wanted to pick that one up.
Yeah, true. I would say so as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Sona, if you really want to go. Rakan, I completely forgot about him. That is great.
Who are we? We good casters? I'm not. Don't answer that at home. Stop it. It's going to be Rakan. It's going to be Tristana Rakan. It's going to be a lane that has the ability to snowball so well. Now, Corvidae have to weigh their options. The support has already been taken off the board.
Lulu's just too much value now. You need to pick up the Lulu.
Well, something like Lulu, but it looks like... What if he does Blitzcrank again?
I mean, it'd be great. Ooh, Taliyah.
But yeah, it's not going to be support Taliyah, but...
Yeah, I think that would be support Taliyah.
No. Top lane Taliyah. 100%.
No. I reckon that's support Taliyah, mate.
Or...
Watch it.
Or support Orianna. I just don't want to see support Taliyah. Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
She's very strong in terms of the amount of harass that she can put out. So if she does manage to get rolling early, she can put out a lot of poke, be absolutely, I guess you could say, oppressive in lane.
It's support Taliyah. Oh my god. It's support Taliyah. Hashtag Corvidae win if you want them to win with support Taliyah.
And it's a strong combination if you really look at
it.
Is it? Yeah. If you really look at it, whoever, basically, Twitch goes in first, throws out his flask. Next thing you do, you get Taliyah to actually, one, they're slowed. That's the first thing. Nice. Next, Taliyah is able to use her knockback to push her into the rest of the team. That means Twitch can sit there free-shotting as much as he wants in that situation. And that is going to be a quick, easy kill, because those two put out a lot of damage in a short amount of time.
There's so much, like there's the rocket jump, and there's the grand entrance from Rakan. Like, let's put it this way. We are going to see a Gnar coming back as well. That's something I want to focus. Going into the Jax, we have seen the resurgence of Gnar. We have seen how big he is, again, going against some of these bruiser top laners. But against... Let's come back to this point.
Okay.
Rakan, Tristana.
Yes.
Against Taliyah.
And Twitch.
Is this Korea again? Is Korea doing this again? What's going on with the meta?
Taliyah's always been one of those good pocket picks in support, to be honest. If you are, really? Yeah, if you are actually well-versed on that champion, you're proficient with her, she can really do a lot of damage early, and she can really take control of that bot side.
Well, Corvidae taking on Team Noxide with a Taliyah support on the Corvidae side. You can get those hashtags in if you want, or you could just sit down and watch game number 2 of OCS Week 5. Let's see how the Taliyah support impacts the composition.
Indeed. And now when you look at Team Noxide, what they want to decide to go for, I had to go with the when he said it.
Of course you did.
It's just
of course you did.
Too easy for me to play off. So when I look at Team Noxide's composition, they have a lot of decent poke, but everything's going to be reliant on Jopan to find that right mark with his engage. He needs to make sure he's basically got his rage under control. Jax is just going to be a monster the later this game goes, and if Jopan manages to pop off early before Raven can really get going, they should be able to find a good lead from that. And that is the damage I was talking about.
Support Taliyah, who just got like 24 gold.
You know what? He's got Works Ground on completely the other side of the map. Absolutely fine for Zyda to have that there.
He's no mana either. Look at that. 16 gold, sorry. He's in the lead. He's in the lead.
It's all about those incremental leads.
It's when people say GG at this point in the game.
GG easy.
Well,
GG easy gold.
I don't know. Is this in Korea? Like, I feel like I feel like it's
I don't think this is not a career-specific thing. She is always being a
it doesn't help your career at all. No, 100%. 100%.
This is not a Korean-specific thing. She has always been one of those pocket pick supports that people like to put out there, like Rogue's Vel'Koz, for example.
Yeah, but I mean that has merit.
What do you mean it has merit? How is it any different?
Tectonic displacement is a lot harder. Actually, no, to be fair, seismic shove.
Not to mention the fact that all of a sudden now you can just separate a team whenever you want to when you support.
Hang on, Zyda, there we go. Works some ground. Gets one shot out of none and is at a quarter mana. It's 3/4, sorry.
Yeah, she really will lose a lot of power once all of that worked around starts to kick in, because she will be using it early to try and get that harass and establish some big control. While she does manage to push this lane out, they should get level 2 first. And unfortunately, they don't, so this is a big problem for them. All of a sudden, they lose a big advantage in the fact that now you can be super aggressive. Because see how they want to sort of throw that through, and then you can get the seismic shove.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be something that's going to be available now.
There's some good poke damage down in this bottom lane as Zyda continues to harass. Like you're talking about, all about that work ground and where it's placed. Vibes. Now going to experience Bose. No.
Fortunate.
He's not. He's going to be like, no. It's okay.
I'm out of here.
Team Noxide's composition looks a lot more well-drafted, I feel, than Corvidae. I feel like Corvidae just one pick behind at all stages. Orianna first pick as a massive priority for Taka. That's it is saying something, considering how strong Corki is at the moment and how versatile Relics has been on his mid laners. Team Noxide already sort of making their way through this draft phase, and Bose and Jopan will start up this blue nice and early. Their smite is available for Bose. He takes it away, and Vibes too late to the party. And
then at the same time, you can look at it and say, well, yeah, getting that Orianna first, maybe an idea of looking at priority. Maybe it's just them saying, you know what, we want to hide our picks and our other lanes. I mean, that's the damage I was talking about.
The flash forward, the ignite, one more auto attack. Reelable walking back, first blood to Zyda's Talia, and another first blood like last week.
And there we go. That's the damage coming through. That's the fact that you do have the dot damage from Twitch as well. They're a great combo in the lane, but there might be a response in the mid lane.
Exhaust already being used. Taka gets flashed on body slam. He flashes away. Relics rinses and repeats. The Corki slowed down. One more auto attack. He's frozen shut. The percentage health damage is all they need. One more auto attack. And the auto from Taka to give it over to Corvidae.
Zaita's here as well.
Seismic shove the Talia support. Arctic Assault will not find Bose as he body slams away. Team Noxide still down 1,000 gold.
Now they continue to keep that pressure up. This is going to be their blue buff as well.
Ozark going in for the kill. Gets 3 stacks of Venom. Pops it on. And Bose will help heal up with the red buff, but the blue buff stolen away. And rinse and repeat as Corvidae continue to make impacts in this early game.
And these are the cool plays that Corvidae make, where they move around the map. That it looks flashy. It looks clean. They managed to get a good objective off that as well, because clearly you can't take down a tower this early in the game, but they make a move for a blue buff instead. But Raven
is very low, level 4 Nah. He's now gone back into mini Nah, the flash forward. Jopan has flashed himself. Boomerang to kill Raven.
Wow, that was just a really big misplay by Raven. They're taking too much damage from that turret, being a little bit too aggressive. And those are the type of mistakes you just cannot make at this level of play, because any player worth their salt will immediately punish it. And Jopan definitely did.
And a Nah that has that kill can go back, and you'd assume, yep, picks up the Phage. Going to be a massive advantage as Raven burns the TP as well. Jopan to respond, but comfortable lane for this Nah.
And this becomes a real damage, a really big threat as well for Team Noxide to have, because now you know Nah loves to split push, and for him to be ahead early with the extra CS, with the extra kill on top, means he can just be an absolute menace that he probably doesn't even need to go towards those team fights as long as he keeps Jax under control and takes those objectives nice and quick.
Still looking at the bottom lane, however, as Zyta continuing to roam around. I mean, that's what he's known for. This guy last week played Blitzcrank, yes, roamed mid, just like he did about 2 minutes ago. Zyta, a very different style of support than we've seen in the OCS. I mean, we can lump everyone else in together, I feel. But with Zyta, it's a whole new story. It's a guy who makes so much map impact in the early game. And someone who I think with a lot more play and a lot more experience could really be one of the top supports in OCS.
And it goes back to what you said, a very interesting support pick. It seems to work well what he's got. Raven now is being bullied.
He's only level 5, doesn't have the ultimate. Gragas comes up, and Bose and Nah will continue to fight this one through. Throws a building. But Team Noxide miss a kill. Meanwhile, down bottom, already picking up one. That's Sombre. Ozza goes invisible. Relopal just gets the Gleaming Quill, and that'll be one for the bot lane of Noxide.
And that is the downside of having a Talia support. She is still extremely susceptible to death. She
like
can
every
die
other champion of League of Legends.
So quickly, because she's going to be building like a glass cannon.
I think the word was squishy.
Squishy?
I think, yeah,
I prefer susceptible to death. I think that sounds
But Mendrix,
mean.
everyone dies in League of Legends, okay? It's just a fact of life we have to face. Every single damn day.
Haven't you? So have you never played a perfect game?
Have you seen me play League of Legends?
I have seen you play, but at some point in time, you have to play a perfect game.
Yeah, it was with
Where you just
Orianna,
don't
and
die.
I was probably like level 10. No, it was Nunu. It was Nunu, 100% Nunu. Why have we not seen Nunu jungle, Mendrix?
That's a great question. He's been tearing it up in solo
Because
queue
Carbon
at this point
played
in
it.
time.
Oh, no. I mean, like, Carbon actually makes me want to play Nunu. Sometimes.
I think the typical issue with Nunu is that he really does need to exert a lot of map pressure early, put down the enemy team. Can they find something? Found him!
Sombre must have rocket jump, however, but there we go. The, not heroic entrance, going to be the grand entrance. Relopal to save the day.
Good
Sombre,
save
luckily.
indeed.
Yep.
And now Zeitz is just going to... One of his Zeitz, so they're going to basically push it out in the bot lane here, basically get themselves a free shove, maybe a free back as well if possible. But the damage is done. You got to kill onto Sombre now, someone who's very strong in their late game as well. I think if they manage to get a good roam here on any of members, that will be big. And you can see them having that extra pressure means a dragon will be given over to Corvidae.
This pocket pick of Talia's support has actually been doing quite a lot, but the gold is pretty much neck and neck. It's going to be an Ocean Drake, which too late to be contested by Team Noxide. So secured away, smited, and Corvidae to pick up the first elemental of the game. The next one, if Camera wants to go down, go on Camera, you can do it. He's slowing down. He's going to go down. Hang on, Camera. A little bit to the right. We can't tell. Let's guess. Let's just guess. Oh, he's done it again. Nice. Ocean Drake for number 2. Thank you very much, Observer.
And now I want to touch on what Corvidae has sort of been failing on generally throughout the other weeks beforehand. Basically, they haven't been able to have the best objective play, but they seem to be turning it around in this game specifically against Noxide. And I don't know whether it's because Noxide are not really in the same caliber as some of the other higher-up teams in the ladder, or if maybe perhaps Corvidae have really identified this as a weakness and are putting more focus onto making sure they can get this. Either way, it is an adaptation and gameplay that I like to see from Corvidae. I want them to continue doing this in the next 10 minutes or so. Perhaps pick up that Rift Herald as it is about to become available, or really take advantage of the next big play they make.
We saw exactly what Legacy Genesis could do with the Rift Herald, and the opportunities that lie in wait if Team Noxide continue to kind of gain more and more control. But like we said, the gold is pretty much neck and neck. It's just Team Noxide impeaching on that early part of Corvidae's jungle. It has been about vision control for a lot of these teams. Less so for Team Noxide and Corvidae, who are at the moment sitting at the bottom of our ladder. So we know that Lynx following a little bit higher, but Lynx have found some surprising wins. That's a team we'll talk about a little bit later, but Corvidae and Team Noxide here, proving that they are not going to be the bottom tier.
And now they're trying to make something happen here.
Seismic shove, just for the sake of it. Okay, there it is.
Okay, so Zyta does have his ultimate as well. So if he really wants to get a quick shove off, he can make something happen pretty much anywhere around the map at this point. And we're talking about Zyta being great in terms of his roaming play. Well, Talia facilitates that across the board as well. Her passive allows her to roam around really quick. Her ultimate also is something that lets her do that. All of a sudden, wasn't he just bot lane? What is he doing? He's just everywhere, this man.
Mobies. Mobies? No. Flash instead. Explosive cars. Wrong direction. Taka is saved. Weaver's wall to secure it, and Zyta still doing a lot of poke damage, just sends Noxide to the other side of the rift.
And that wall actually managed to stop Team Noxide from following it from a pincer point as well. You did have Relopal there as well as Bose to actually make a move if they were able to find that team fight. But that Weaver's wall just cut off any opportunity for them to continue that fight, and Corvidae are able to reset.
Corvidae making a very good reactive play. So because they keep the day safe, Team Noxide, you'd think they'd be playing a little bit more careful, but Zyta is going to spot out Relopal. Bose continuing to counter jungle at this 11-minute mark. Corvidae just defending. And you can see that with a composition like Corvidae, they're happy to defend. They're happy to go, hey.
Well, right now they do have to defend because Team Noxide have full control of that top side wall, actually the blue side jungle of Corvidae's. That means they can actually make a move towards that Rift Herald there. I really would like them to actually get some more wards down, actually be prepared to have those pinks on hand. That way they can have full control of that blue side jungle for Corvidae, and it would make an easy take for that Herald right now.
But all this jungle pressure is actually really well placed by Team Noxide. I'm not seeing the same game out of Vibes that I've seen out of his Elise. You know, it is a very different style of jungling with the Sejuani, and it is a different role that you're going to play. Yes, can still make an impact with those ganks in the early game and with level 6 now. But in comparison to the Elise, which he'd been playing week after week after week, it is a very different side to Vibes, and I'm curious to see how he continues to play it as I'm talking bad about him, Shockwave. And there we go. The experiment has been made. The flash from Relics uses a Valkyrie. You know the flash is going to come through as well. One more auto attack from Vibes is all that's needed. No, make it 2 Arctic Assault right up the butt.
And it is a really different playstyle from Vibes because he has to be a bit greedy earlier. But now that he is set up, he is able to make those plays off the back of it there. And now they've got full control in that top side jungle, which means he can actually make a move towards the bot side while he still has his ultimate. His ultimate's not available, but he can still go for a dive here because he is going to be a tank rather than a squishy spider.
Cool, it's the Sejuani metrics. Of course he's going to be a tank. What do you go, full AP Sejuani?
Yeah, you could do it if you want to.
I mean, why? It's a competitive game.
I mean, I know it's a competitive game, but if you really want to ask that question, you know, why could he go AP Sejuani? Yeah, he has that option. He can go whenever. He can go that AP Sejuani anytime he wants to.
He can do whatever he wants.
His team might not be happy about it. Corvidae might be sitting there going, "What are you doing?" But he'll just be like, "Don't worry, guys. I've got this. I'm going to carry in the late game. It's going to be great."
I mean, Taliyah's not going to go tank, so that's fair enough. I'm just going to move on from this because I feel like it just goes down a narrow hole. Zada does have Ignite back up, so the kill pressure in that bottom lane still remains, but real opal to defuse. Meanwhile, while Noxide are getting pushed in the bottom lane, Bose picks up the Rift Herald.
And that's a good identification tip from Team Noxide to get that Herald, because they knew that Vibes had used a lot of his resources to get the kill onto Relics, then had moved his way into the bot side of the jungle, and they said, sweet, all the pressure's there. Hey, you know what, guys? Just play safe, hug your tower. We're going to get the objective up here.
And losing that Rift Herald could mean the first turret blood, which is yet to be taken by either team. To start off this early game, Relics does have package as well, so...
Hasn't used it.
No, well, I mean, he just got here.
I know he has got here, but I think he would have had another package beforehand as well, and I haven't really seen him use that one either. And it does have that 1 minute timer, so I would like to actually see him be a bit more liberal with the use of it rather than just using it as a way to get back to lane.
Well, I guess you need Bose to come in and sort of start things off. Taka doesn't have flash. This is the perfect opportunity. I mean, Bose doesn't have flash either, but would be a great start. And Vibes has put priority onto the Dragons this game. Bose is up in the top side. This one's just going to be let on through. And double Ocean Drake for an Orianna, for a team that can disengage quite easily.
But it just seems to be both teams going with the flow of the game. I mean, you look at it right now. Corvidae have strength in the bot side of the map, so they're going to continue to take control of. They're going to continue to take control of that dragon, continue to get this blue buff as well. Team Noxide on the other side, they've got a nice, strong Gnar who's very accelerated in his own right. Makes sense for them to continue playing around the top side, and as we say that, here comes a Rift Herald.
There we go, first turret blood, and oh yeah, there we go, down it goes. First turret blood goes over to Team Noxide, a 1k gold lead. And very good use by Bose. They'll just let it go down, and Raven will pick up the 25 gold, I assume.
I would like Jopan to keep on pushing that up just to get it towards the tower so he gets a guaranteed second charge off. In the end, Raven might be able to stop that before he even gets that next charge. As you can see, doing a lot of damage.
It's going in anyway. All right, a bit of chip damage on that top lane turret. Raven, while he was going for the Rift Herald, will take half of his health in points, and Jopan continues to push this forward. I think he's actually going to start chipping away at this turret, and there is no pressure from anyone else in Corvidae. This is going to be either a dead Raven.
I don't think he can get the kill just yet. That was a nice, healthy wave, and Jopan got a lot of chip damage on that turret. And now that he can sort of swap teams around instead, I reckon.
There it is.
What you can probably do is just throw your top lane in your bot lane, move your bot lane to your top lane now, and just have continue to push down that easy turret there. Now it's got a lot of chip damage on it.
But you notice, like, Bose just forced the flash out of Taka, and he's still pushing up. Shockwave is available, so level 11. You know, it's going to be level 2 Shockwave for those of you at home. And Bose has flash as well for the body slam. Doesn't find Taka against the wall. The ultimate used by Gnar. Perfect combination. Bose, bit of overkill with the explosive cast, but Noxide will secure that mid laner. and start moving down.
And Jopan identified when he had his Rage available, was able to move around the map using his advantage, the fact that he has control there. Nice use of the Weaver's Wall to actually protect the turret as well, but I think Team Noxide are really starting to move around the map with the momentum they've built up.
Zyda knows that 2 members are in the brush. Ultimate lands. Sejuani jumps on in. Bose getting destroyed, and the body slam will just hit the mark, and exactly that is Corvidae. Flash forward from 5. Raven is going in. Good ultimate from Sombre, but it's not enough. The charm. 3, 4 members of Corvidae chasing this one up. Jopan hits the dirt next, and 2 from Noxide go down, all in the use of this rotation.
And Vibes is the big man in this situation, continuing to find the plays, always using that ultimate effectively. And now Corvidae can actually begin to get their own objectives around the map and continue to sort of shore up that gold lead that Team Noxide have built.
And Corvidae, because of that big fight, because of Team Noxide overextending their mark, and with so much confidence as well, they'll equalize the gold. It is now neck and neck with that bottom lane turret being opened.
And they still have a lot of pressure to work with as well. Raven now, he's going to be the man that's going to be sticking in this lane as well. And he managed to actually pick up some good assists off that. Crucially, he managed to get some experience, put him back in line with Jopan, and that means he's still going to be able to remain relatively relevant as the game continues.
But look, we do blow the gun. You definitely have to look at how far Jopan is ahead, and that was 1,000 gold. He's got the Black Cleaver. We have another look at it again, but yeah, that's about 1,300 gold. Everywhere else quite neck and neck, as both will be caught out again. Passive lands there as well, knocked into the air. Tarka's been collapsed on, and Team Noxide, this time it's their rotation, unexpected, as he gets bopped away. Jopan trying to follow it on up. Oz is slowed, Vibes is the protector, and Jopan still very, very angry as Elnar chasing Ozza, gets another hit. Bose is in the enemy jungle, he's stunned on up. Great seismic shove, he flashes away, but Zyta will have that cooldown very soon. He goes down, Team Noxide cannot save his life. Messy fights, but a 1-for-1.
And I really disagree with what Team Noxide did there. They found the team fight. They got Taka. Just go for the turret. You don't need to keep aggressing that situation. You have Jopan playing the point man. That's probably going to be the first ultimate that Vibes misses this game. And all of a sudden, you could have had a turret, but now you've given up a kill because instead of putting your tank in the mid lane with everyone else, he decided to keep on greeting in the jungle.
As soon as these ultimates are available, both teams are pressing the go now button. And Corvidae will recover this. They'll get some more vision control. They'll clear this away and finally start impeaching on Team Noxide's blue side jungle, preparing for this next dragon. It's only going to be a cloud, but Corvidae have been putting a lot of priority on this bottom side. If you look at Corvidae's team composition, I mean, Oz has been the person that we've looked to in the past, but Zyta is 3-1-1 on this Taliyah support. Expecting that's going to be, yep, that is a that's a Leandra's Torment in the making. That is going to be a heavy... This could just be like a mid lane Talia. Here we go.
And it makes sense as well. I mean, you do get that early power spike by going for those items in the end there. You are doing well around the map. Might as well keep on building your damage as time goes on. You've managed to pick up enough vision control by finishing off the Eye of the Oasis there. Managed to remember that one on the side there.
Oh my god. Who gets the blue? Who gets the blue?
It'd be Taka. Taka gets the blue.
Man.
You want to get...
Zyda's got to get the other one.
You want to get your Orianna at that crucial moment in time. That means all the resources possible. Zyta's the supporter. He's doing damage at this point in time. Yeah, he's still a support.
I feel like Vibes is the support.
No, Vibes the tank. He's the big man. He's engaging.
Yeah, support.
Fair enough. Well, as I say, that's actually the big woman in this case, as the Sejuani.
Oh, she would be offended by that, Mendrix. By the way, ladies and gentlemen out there, Mendrix called me fat the other day, and I was very upset.
It was a very sad moment in time.
Well, for me, not for you.
I was laughing. It was okay.
Maybe it was Preacher. I can't remember.
Anyways.
Anyway, what were you talking about, friend?
So, I was talking about how Vibes, he's going to be a big tanky member for the team.
Okay, that's a Weaver's Wall coming through. Team Noxide running for their lives. Relics and Body Slam misses from Bose. Bose's been very off with his skill shots this game. The explosive cast knocking away instead of bringing members in this game. Body Slam as well. A little bit worried about how Bose is playing. Someone who's been playing the Kha'Zix in the past and someone who's been a very responsive player.
Doesn't seem to be adapting too well to this new shift in the meta. As you can see, he's just probably finding his own pace there, but both these teams aren't really hitting the mark at this point in the game. I mean, you saw those ultimates coming through before from Corvidae, just missing the mark.
Yeah. Bring the BM.
And really now it seems to be all about getting that mid lane objective there. Ozza is going to be happily free farming on the side, and that's one member you do not want to get big in the late game.
No, but Ozza gets the turret by himself, and again, gold. Back to that equalizing point as the ultimate to come through, and Tristan a lockdown stun. Two-man shockwave perfectly executed by Corvidae. Reload Bull going to be the next person to meet their demise. The teleport will come in, and 2 kills means this turret in the mid lane is going down.
Can someone stop Vibes when he's not missing his ultimates? If they land, damage is being dealt. And now, Corvidae are turning on.
The Valkyrie cannot escape. Great seismic shove. Relics has to flash explosive cast. Hits all 5 members. Corvidae very low. Team Noxide will not follow this up, but hey, they'll still get the turret and run.
And you can see what happens when Corvidae decides to push the button there. Team Noxide have the ability to do it as well, but that was more disengaged at that point in time. Damage control, and Corvidae will be able to pick up a dragon over the fact that they've been able to get more objectives here.
But the ward has spotted them, and Bose is on full health. It's not worth it, Bose. It's just a Cloud Drake. And I'm guessing the next one will be as well. Team Noxide recover. They get the turret and that gold. We talk about it being a seesaw. Yeah, it's a cloud. Man, best dragons. Ose.
Still something. It's still something for Corvidae to have because...
No, it's not.
Well, think about it. If it goes late, all of a sudden, Elder Drake is still a threat.
True. I'm sorry, I just don't like Cloud Drakes.
That's fair enough. I don't think anyone really likes Cloud Drakes. So, you know, you're preaching to the choir. Well, I know even Sivir hates Cloud Drakes because all of a sudden
loves Cloud Drakes.
Nah, man, you have to understand the issue with Sivir and Cloud Drakes because her whole point is I want to make my whole team go fast, and if there is a mechanic in the game that's doing it for you, what's the point of having a Sivir?
Yeah, true. Sivir's not a good champion. You've noticed Raven has actually started with Titanic Hydra as well, something that's come into play with Jaxes these days. That Titanic Hydra rush giving so much wave clear and early damage control by Raven. Corvidae now potentially think about the idea of starting up this Baron. Is just going to be warded, and Corvidae showing a lot more individual control with all their members. Bose will be found here.
He just walks into it, finds the Sejuani, decides to just run on out of there. I still think Team Noxide have a little bit of an edge here because they're within their own jungle, so they actually have the ability to reinforce each other. Good thing that Vibes can just traverse walls at a moment's notice.
But I think it's all about those rotations again, and Corvidae are just one step ahead of Team Noxide. If you look at how Taka is always in the mid lane, he is nowhere else across this map. Raven, yes, side lane, but Taka, no matter where Corvidae go, you got 3 members rotating, and you got Taka, who's just always in the mid, and they are starting up Baron. This is a silent Baron. This is not known to Noxide.
This is a very optimistic Baron as well. The Wither's War is going to go in and actually stop it from making the move around here as well.
LPL, Gleaming Quill, not going to go for it. The ultimate's going to hit Bose. This is intense. He flashes over the wall. Bose, he's stolen it. Corvidae, they lose the Baron. Now are they going to lose their lives? Charmed up. Oz is the first down to go. And Corvidae running for their lives because Noxide have just switched the button. A double kill. The explosive cast. Vibes and your happy panda are going downhill fast. Raven to save the day. Bose will kill him, and even he will get out. 4 members dead. Team Noxide steal the Baron.
Baron calls are something you need to be so careful with, and I said it was an optimistic Baron. Team Noxide played that so patiently. They understood what was going wrong, and when you see a Weaver's Wall go through out of the blue for no apparent reason, red flags were just going off. Bose makes the move down there, and you were saying, you know what, he's looking shaky, but he made it count when he needed to and gets the steal.
Bose walks on into that pit, and like you said, Vibes missing that smite. Oh, how could this happen?
And here we go. As you can see, there's a Weaver's Wall to try and stop them from getting into it, but they've got members that can jump over. The stun's there, but it's not enough, and here comes the Baron, so you have to watch out for that red side Gragas. And I just feel at this point in time, you've got a Corvidae lineup that's just completely jaded. There's no way they can really win this team fight because they've taken so much damage from the Baron. Their tanky members are not tanky, and the collapse from Noxide is clean.
And that was a clean Gnar ult as well. Team Noxide, after what was a rough and shaky early start, Corvidae, you have to respond to this just like you've responded to every single play. 4K in the lead. Team Noxide with this Baron power play are making it work. There's a package available. There is lack of vision. Corvidae are shaking in their little space boots at the opportunity of getting harassed in their own jungle by a Corki with package and by a Gragas who, frankly, is just now killing it.
He's just now killing it.
He wasn't killing it before, now he's killing it.
Fair enough, and if he continues to basically make those plays where he's on point when it counts, that is all he needs to do. If he manages to land a few explosive casts, they're no longer for disengage, but now for the engage, considering how strong the rest of the team is. They've got poke as well. Sombre is starting to get his levels up. That range is increasing as time goes on, making it so easy to take turrets. You've got a strong split pusher who's performing well the entire game. Everything is just falling into place.
Team Noxide going to take this outer turret, sorry, the inner turret in the top lane. 27 minutes in with this Baron. You saw during the replay, this Corki's going to get stunned on up. Shockwave misses there. Some flashes burnt, but Team Noxide move away. Next wave is coming forward. As I was saying in the mid lane, during that replay, Jopan helped take down the inhibitor turret, and he's continually pressuring these side waves. Corvidae don't know where to split their pressure.
And now that they've used 2 big ultimates off the back there, unable to actually land something with that, Team Noxide can continue to push this thing. As you can see, more towers are going down there. I don't see a big team fight happening just yet. Now that this mini wave is crashing, this could be the opportunity for Corvidae to strike.
Weave as well, but everyone has an escape to get out of there. There's the body slam to follow suit. Team Noxide, that's fine. Bottom lane turret. Raven can't do anything about it. This is going down.
Wow, this is just too easy for Jopan. I mean, just look at him there. He's just in there saying, yep, come on, come at me at any moment in time. I've got empowered minions ready to go, ready to roll. Now the Baron has worn off, but they've managed to crack the base. That's the big deal here.
You know, such a great play, and they continue to siege on top. Luckily, there is a bit of wave clear for Corvidae. Team Noxide, they don't need to force anything just now. With that 8k gold lead, sorry, 7k. Sorry, 6k. There we go. Tried to math. Did a little bit. Team Noxide are in such a great position. The next one is a Cloud Drake, so it could just be an objective they sweep on up, but Corvidae are in their base, and this is gone horribly wrong.
And now that the Baron's gone, Noxide just cannot slow down at any point in time, because although they managed to get one of the inhibitors now, one of the points that has been mentioned, it's been mentioned in the OPL before, is that if you don't do anything with an inhibitor down, you've basically just given 2,000 gold to the enemy team. You really need to use that pressure, because all of a sudden that's going to be super minions that are going to be pushing in those waves. You won't be able to benefit from the experience there, and that's something that Corvidae can benefit from if they manage to hold on and make this game go a little bit longer.
Yeah, like you said, their composition favors a long defense. And Team Noxide, let's see if they can push this envelope. Let's see if they actually can find another pick or another engage. Cloud Drake will be the start, but where do we go from there?
And if they do take this Cloud Drake, that will force the Elder on a 36-minute timer if they decide to wait until the 30 minutes to go for it. So that means they can sort of control and set themselves up for success, make sure Corvidae can't benefit from getting that Elder Drake by keeping this control around the map. And I really love how they've decided to set up that Christmas tree right there on that red side jungle, because we know Corvidae really do want to get this Drake underneath their belt, and they might make a mistake to make it happen.
Somebody said Christmas tree. Where are you? Cassiopeia, one trick. No, you're not. You're an okay guy. Team Noxide now have an open inhibitor down in the bottom lane that they can take full advantage of, and 3 members start pushing it on down, with Jopan in the 1 lane that has an inhibitor turret. Team Noxide still looking very comfortable. Corvidae defending, picking up the waves. Vibes pops the Righteous Glory, but will not find a target this time. Team Noxide still 7k gold ahead. They now move on up, and Corvidae dealing with all of these members. Valkyrie used very well the flash as well. Great seismic shove. Relics pull back in. That's one. Shockwave whiffs, but it's okay. Joe Panda bounce on over, and Raven pops his ultimate. But meanwhile, Team Noxide are going to open up a second inhibitor.
There's the Weaver's Wall, though, has locked them in. Some of these members can jump over, but will they get the inhibitor and get out safely?
No, Vibes jumps on in. The inhibitor does go down, but stunned on through. The ultimate comes in from Rakan. Charmed up only one. Raven and Oz are in the back line. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Jopan very close. Very good flash from Taka. That is one. Team Noxide back off.
And this is what Corvidae need to do. They need to make sure they can protect their base, take the team fights as they can, continue to just keep this pressure up, because yes, they've managed to take down that inhibitor down there, but the other one has respawned. And again, that's another 2,000 gold going the way of Corvidae, unless Team Noxide makes something happen.
If you see Corvidae, and if you see an Orianna,
if you see a Vibes,
Vibes is making work. Vibes
He's doing
is
work.
forcing these plays, but Taka individually is someone we have tooted many times. That's his horn. We've tooted his horn. I don't know if that's a good thing, but Baron will spawn. It is now live. Second time around at 31 minutes. Corvidae know that Team Noxide have to face check this. So who do they find?
If they can get Boast, that would be ideal. I would just that opens up the Baron. Look, they're so careful. They land.
Ult misses, and Vibes doesn't have flash available, so Corvidae now gets spotted out. Team Noxide start running down mid.
They've got the inside track here, so then understand they can just keep on pushing this down, get the open inhibitor, and that should open up the Baron for them very easily here. Corvidae need to react right now.
And Coin was popped there. Noxide, like you said, run it on down mid, boys. And Corvidae might want to force a fight here. The Valkyrie with a package has been used. Ozza front lining, trying to get some distractions, but Jopan starts up the Baron. You see how many wards have just been thrown into that pit?
They want to make sure they've got control on this Baron.
Never losing vision. Never
lose vision here. They're just going to put as many down as they can. Now, what I want to talk about here specifically is the fact that, yes, going for the Baron now, good. They've actually been careful about it. I want them to let the pressure build up. I thought them going for the Baron's a bit too crazy for them to make that move, because they've got 2 inhibitors broken. They can just let the minions pile up, and then once Corvidae have to deal with that, just go for the Baron then.
Bose is going to push forward. Could be sandwiched there, but walks away. I'm sure Gragas likes sandwiches. We're going to go into the top side of this map. Baron has not been started. However, Corvidae, I mean, you still feel that essence of hope. You still feel like a Talia who comes into this mid-game at 33 minutes with only 2 items as a support can make something happen. There is so much opportunity for Corvidae to just make this play, but Team Noxide are not letting this one go. And now it's time for Corvidae to face check.
And what a face check they have!
Righteous Glory to come on through. Double man body bomb. Vibes uses the ultimate, picks that one. Relics out of position. They're chasing this one up as the Locket and the Weaver's Wall puts them into the back of a corner. Reload could be the next target. Shockwave brings them on back. Meanwhile, the 1v1 support versus AD carry. Sombre wins because Sada, you don't even have 2 items. Corvidae could have been a bad fight. Could it get any worse? Well, Jopan seems to think so. Narbar coming up and available. Raven gets the 2-man. The ultimate has already been used. Explosive cars. It's going to be Raven who goes down next. Team Noxide very low. Corvidae, can they still find this fight? Well, they seem to think so. Jopan is super low. Gets a 2-man ultimate. And Tristana is going nuts. Sombre bursted, however.
Look at the minions!
But meanwhile, at the base, no, there are no turrets. The siege minions are coming through.
Bose just needs to keep them there. If he can stop them from getting back, it'll be available for them to make it happen. They get the ace there, but what cost? I don't think Taka can hold this.
No, the minions. No, Taka. No, Corvidae lose because of the inhibitors, and that was the most anticlimactical win for Team Noxide.
I mean, I was just looking at that there going, you know what? It's fine if they lose this team fight because those minions are just piling in. And sure enough, they keep the team fight going. They continue to say, stay here, guys. Basically saying, look at us, come and get the kills. And they win the war in the end.
Corvidae just had like this last moment of hope. They're like, yes, now we can get the Baron. Camera pans to the next. It's like, oh, actually the game might be over now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. That last bit was pretty much just yakety sax, you know, trying to hold them away from going back while the minions just take their base. It's not a lot to say.
I'm glad you didn't say all of that, but no.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Let's keep our jobs for now, you know, like not as chill. But of course, that game going over to Team Noxide, it wasn't by any means clean. Let's start at the draft phase because everyone had very different ideas and how to run a composition. Feels like Team Noxide was a lot cleaner. The Talia support put us off track a little bit, but yeah, Team Noxide running that Nara in the top lane kind of drove us.
It gave them a lot of advantage to go forward in the game, but one thing that they really spiked in was, of course, the mid-game. And when we talk about the mid-game, you got to give praise to Corvidae in that sense, because they actually shut down the mid-game potential of Team Noxide. Pretty much the only mid-game potential that they had was in the Rakan. Every single time, gank bot again, managed to get that turret and just get everybody ahead from that position. Pretty much made Relopal's life a living hell, at the very least in the mid-game. And it all looked good for Corvidae. But then the Baron still happened, and pretty much everything else was just a slow downhill.
If that Baron wasn't stolen, Corvidae, I again feel would just have a clean win.
I don't even know that situation because all of a sudden you have a lot of members who have been shredded by armor, or have not their armor shredded, their magic resisted shredded. You do have a Gragas right there in the middle of the pit saying, hey, I'm here too, by the way, guys. And like you said, that big Gnar ultimate at that point in time was enough to really shut them down. So it seemed that even if they did manage to get that Baron, Noxide still had the ability to sort of keep it within an arm's length. The fact that they picked up the Baron there meant they could really take advantage and control that game from then on.
I'm actually speechless about that game. I don't know what that was. That was some shining examples of League of Legends.
I mean, going back to Mendrix's point, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about the fact that it would have been the end all, because if they got the Baron, then yeah, there was a huge fight that came up from the Gragas and also from the Gnar. But if, say, 3 of your members died, you're still up. You have the Baron buff on 2 of your members, and you can still push that onwards. Don't forget that it was actually the Baron buff that enabled Team Noxide to burst that first inhibitor turret down and take down the inhibitor. Without that, possibly the whole game could have snowballed in a different direction. And when you're talking about the late game of both of these two teams, yeah, it's easy to say that the Corki and the Tristana were the late game carries of Team Noxide, but you take a look over on the other side, Twitch and Jax going into late game, it's not so certain.
No, I completely agree with what you're saying there. What I'm saying is, even if that Baron hadn't actually gone the way of Noxide, what I'm saying is Noxide would still have been in arm's length. Yeah. They wouldn't have been able to actually make a big team fight out of that because they had that collapse potential.
Probably, with considering how that game went, I feel like we can't guess a winner if anything else happened differently. But we can say that Corvidae, unfortunately dropping the ball at that Baron, means that Team Noxide found their definite way back into the again, questionable all around. That's why I love the OCS. These guys are still learning. They're still playing some fun League of Legends, but that will be their first win, if I'm not mistaken, of the split so far. What we're going to do is we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then afterwards you will see our lovely faces again, but not as many Clown Fiestas. We'll see you soon.